Ukraine and the United States have reached an agreement on a framework for a comprehensive minerals deal, according to a Ukrainian official and a source familiar with the discussions. This arrangement could help alleviate tensions following weeks of criticism from President Donald Trump towards Kiev. Under the agreement, Washington would gain partial access to Ukraine's mineral resources, as well as its oil and gas reserves. The Trump administration sees this as a way to offset the cost of military aid, while proponents argue that increased American investment could enhance Ukraine's security. After days of negotiations, the Ukrainian government appears poised to finalize an agreement. Kiev's willingness to move forward comes amid intense pressure from Trump, who has labeled the democratically elected Zelensky a dictator and falsely accused Ukraine of initiating the war, despite Russia's unprovoked invasion. The United States also shifted its stance at the United Nations, aligning with Russia and North Korea against Ukraine, while aggressively advocating for a peace deal that requires minimal concessions from Russian President Vladimir Putin, beyond ceasing active hostilities against Kiev. Both a Ukrainian official and another individual familiar with the matter, speaking on condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the negotiations, confirmed these developments. I hear that Zelensky's coming on Friday. Certainly, it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me. And I understand that's a big deal, a very big deal, Trump said today in the Oval Office when asked about the mineral agreement without confirming specific details. The Ukrainian embassy in Washington did not provide a comment regarding a potential visit. This could be a trillion-dollar deal. It could be anything, but it involves rare earths and other resources, Trump stated. We want that money back. We're helping this country navigate a massive crisis, one that very few have ever faced. This situation shouldn't have happened, but it did, and now we have to fix it. The American taxpayer is going to get their money back, and then some. Neither the White House nor the State Department commented on the specifics of the agreement. Trump's Ukraine envoy, retired General Keith Kellogg, spent most of last week in Ukraine discussing the peace process and the resource deal. Officials from the Treasury Department have also been involved in negotiations following a visit from Bassan. Trump has pushed for a swift resolution to the war in Ukraine, engaging in talks with Putin and appearing to accept the Kremlin's claim that Ukraine's NATO ambitions posed an unacceptable security threat. Public opinion polls indicate that Ukrainian support for NATO membership significantly increased only after Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014. Trump has insisted that Ukraine compensate the U.S. for its military assistance by granting access to its natural resources, marking a shift towards a more transactional foreign policy approach. From now on, when Americans put up their money, taxpayer money, and the president approves it, we're getting something back in return, Trump declared. Trump has asserted that U.S. aid to Ukraine has totaled $350 billion, with earlier versions of the deal proposing that Kiev repay Washington up to $500 billion. However, as of January, the U.S. had sent approximately $66 billion in military aid since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, according to the State Department. An additional $54 billion in non-military assistance was provided, bringing the total to around $120 billion, according to the Kiel Institute for the World Economy. Meanwhile, European nations have contributed approximately $139 billion during the same period.